Well, we're inside the newly configured hockey offices at the Kohl Center. Next time you're here, swing by section 224 to 225 and sneak a peek. You can see all the championship trophies and team pictures and things of that nature. The Wisconsin Badgers coming off a weekend split of Ohio State to open the Big Ten season. Now they hit the road for a couple of big games at Boston College and Merrimack. I'm the radio voice for Wisconsin hockey, Brian Posick, and head coach Tony Granato joins us next on the Badger Hockey Digest.
This is Lexi Rush. She's 10, and she's amazing. You see, Lexi was born deaf and couldn't hear anything. That was until her doctor in Appleton referred her to the pediatric specialists at UW in Madison. Now, 2 operations later, Lexi can hear everything. Powerful minds, compassionate care, amazing results. UW Health. Remarkable.
Me and you just singing on the train. Me and you listening to the rain. Me and you sitting on the lawn. Me and you just singing our song just to rhyme, to shine and to pass the time.
Step up to GMC and get $12,000 total value on this specially equipped 2017 GMC Sierra SLT model. We are professional grade GMC.
Well, Tony, last weekend against Ohio State, I was expecting a high-scoring series. Didn't turn out that way. The Buckeyes rallied and won the first game 3-2, and you hung on Saturday and won 3-2 to get that split to open up the conference campaign. But were you expecting a few more goals last weekend?
I was, and generally speaking, at the start of the season, you think the offensive players have somewhat of an advantage on the defensive players and defensive system that teams try to play. But certainly wasn't the case. Both teams played very, very solid defensively. I think both teams' penalty killing were great. The power plays, I thought our power play actually in the second game moved the puck around great, had a couple empty nets that we missed. But goalies made big saves, but for the most part, defensively, teams were just solid. It was more like a playoff game than a wide-open, typical game that you'd see between Ohio State and Wisconsin. But it was great hockey. And like I said, I think it was like playoff hockey. I think the guys at the end of that weekend were exhausted and pretty banged up with how physical and how tough that series was on them.
Yeah, the Badgers limited Ohio State to only 42 shots on goal and killed off all 11 of their power plays. And actually, if you look at the final play, the final sequence of Saturday, you're down a man because they empty their net for an extra attacker. You lose the draw, but Trent Frederic, who took that faceoff, came out with a big block shot, and you love to see that from anybody. But somebody with a letter on their sweater, that's pretty cool, too.
That was pretty cool. And we said before we went in for the faceoff, Trent, you going to win this one? And he said, yeah. So when he lost it, I'm sure he was thinking, I better block this darn thing. No, that's what you need. You need guys to understand the importance of making big defensive plays as well as offensive plays. Obviously, he's been a great offensive player for us already this start of the season, and he will continue to be. But what makes him special is he plays both ends of the rink really hard, and to make a big play at the end of the game like that was very important.
Yep. Trent Frederic, a sophomore and a first-round draft pick of the Boston Bruins a couple of years ago. He'll be going to Boston with the Badgers this weekend. Let's spend 2 minutes now with Trent Frederic. Trent, you were a first-round draft pick of the Boston Bruins. You've been there many times. When Boston, drafted you, what were your initial thoughts about getting a chance to play in Beantown?
Yeah, I mean, I've been there a couple times. It's obviously an unbelievable city. It's a huge sports town, so I think this will be the first time I actually play real games coming up here soon in Boston, so it'll be pretty cool.
Yeah. So when you go to Boston, what's the favorite thing you like to eat? Clam chowder?
Yeah, I'll go clam.
Lobster?
I'm a big clam chowder guy, yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah?
I'll go clam chowder. I like a lot of crackers in my soup, so.
A lot of crackers in your soup.
Yeah,
Okay.
clam chowder.
Growing up in St. Louis, your favorite team was the St. Louis Cardinals, right?
Yep.
Baseball,
Yep.
right? And from what I understand, your favorite player, this is a couple of years ago, John Jay,
Yeah.
who now plays for the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah.
Is he still your favorite player, Trent?
Yeah, I mean, I follow him pretty closely. I got to meet him a couple of times. He's a super nice guy, but yeah, it was kind of a bummer when he went to the Cubs, but it's good for him and his family, and I think hopefully he'll work his way back to St. Louis.
Wanted to ask you about your line mates, Ryan Wagner and Linus Weissbach. Who has the best hands?
They both have pretty good hands. I haven't really judged them side to side, but I don't know. I can't.
Be honest
I'll go Linus.
Okay.
He's got really good hands. I'll say Wags is really good at protecting the puck. So they both kind of work to their, I guess their strong figures of their game.
All right. Who has the better shot, Ryan or Linus?
I don't know. I can't answer that one.
You can't answer that?
I'll go with Linus. He had 2 goals this weekend, so I'll go with him.
All right, good. Who's faster, Linus or Ryan?
I'll go with Ryan here. I picked Linus twice in a row. I think Ryan's pretty fast, so I'll go with Ryan. I haven't seen them race, though. So I'll go with Ryan.
All right. And if your sister could date one of the two, who would it be, Linus or Ryan?
Neither. I'm going to go neither. I'll go with Jake Bunt. Seems like a good guy. I'll let him date my sister. But my sister's married, so she's off limits.
Oh.
So that's a bummer for them.
Hey, I thought you were choosing the flute.
Everyone's doing flute.
Buick now has an SUV for that.
Where's your brother?
Hey, Mom, it's a tuba.
Buick Enclave, one of 3 luxury SUVs from the new Buick.
See your Buick dealer and get over $10,400 total value on the specially equipped 2017 Buick Enclave Premium model when you finance through GM Financial.
This is what collaboration looks like. This is what happens when a cardiologist in Appleton works step in step with specialists at UW Health in Madison. You see, when Terry's condition required a second opinion, his doctor turned to the cardiothoracic team at UW Health. Together, we made sure Terry got the care and the heart transplant he needed. Powerful minds, compassionate care, amazing results. UW Health, remarkable.
You know, Tony, last weekend a number of guys stepped up, but one young man who I know had a big crowd on hand, not only for the Ohio State series, but also for the Michigan Tech game the previous Sunday, was a Verona native, Tarek Baker. Young man who's wanted to be a Badger. He's finally a Badger. He scores on a penalty shot on Friday on a beautiful play, and then scored what proved to be the game winner on Saturday when he beat the goaltender through the 5-hole. Not only did he score 2 goals, but he's tenacious on the forecheck. He plays hard all the time, doesn't he?
He's been a kid that we knew would be an energy guy. We knew he'd be a guy that could jump into our lineup and play. But I think the offensive part of it, I don't want to say surprising, but it's certainly a great thing for us to have. But what he is he's a guy that's coachable from the standpoint that every situation, whether it be a penalty kill, whether it be a big face-off, whether it be playing against the other team's top line, he gets himself in a position where when you look down the bench, you want to throw him on the ice. So we got guys down the middle, which we're very fortunate with Trent and Cameron and Seamus as centers. But now you throw him into that mix as another guy that's reliable. It adds a lot to your team. And, you know, I'm really happy for the kid. He's a hard worker. He's a guy that, like you just said, couldn't wait to be a Badger. It's finally here for him, and he's taking advantage of his opportunity. And I think he's going to continue to score. He's got confidence. He's got certainly the wheels to create a lot of offensive chances, and he's got the tenacity on the forecheck to create a lot of havoc for opposing defenders.
All right, the Badgers on the road the next couple of weekends. In 2 weeks, they'll be in Green Bay to play Northern Michigan. This weekend, it's off to Massachusetts to play Boston College on Friday, and then to North Andover to take on Merrimack. Both of these schools have good goaltenders. BC has Joseph Wall. Then there's Drew Vogler for Merrimack. You saw both of these teams a year ago. I'm expecting some pretty high, entertaining energy games this weekend.
Yeah, and their buildings will be energetic for sure. I know Boston College is a team that's ranked right near us, so I'm sure their fans are pretty excited about the opportunity to play us. And Merrimack's going to sit there and watch Friday's game, waiting for us on Saturday. So we'll have to be good. And I think last year we were solid on the road. I don't think there was a weekend that we could walk away from and said, man, we were disappointed with how the effort was or how we played on the road. And I think that's a great testament to the character of our guys. I think we'll play the same way this year on the road. I think some of the buildings that we go into for guys is exciting to play in different parts of the country and different buildings. And I know, like you mentioned, Trent Frederic's going to go play in Boston right in front of his future Bruin fans. So
Cam Hughes, too.
And Cam Hughes, thank you.
Yeah.
And so that's exciting for our guys. And it's 2 important games, and like we talk about as far as pair-wise. Whether it be in October, whether it be in January, February, or March, you got to win these games and help yourself in the pairwise.
Thanks. Have fun this weekend.
Thank you, Brian.
Sure, that's Badgers head coach Tony Granato. Wisconsin and BC Friday night face-off at 6 o'clock. You can watch it on ESPN3. Saturday's game at Merrimack also at 6 o'clock. Both are available with the Badger Sports Network, the radio side of things, or at thebadgersportsnetwork.com. For Tony Granato, I'm Brian Posick. Thanks for watching the Badger Hockey Digest.